Welcome to the Opus training videos. This video covers transcripts, both unofficial and batch processing. To start, click on Manage Student Academics. Then click on View Unofficial Transcript. Next, click on Add a New Value tab. From the Request Header tab, select the transcript type of INTRN, which is the preferred choice for a quick look at the student's transcript. Depending on your Opus access, you may see the following choices for transcript type. Then you would choose Printer for the output destination, and then click on the Request Detail tab. On the Request Detail tab, you can then enter the student's EMPL ID and the number of copies that you want. Please do not hit the Send button since this feature is not operational. You could also click the plus sign if you want a transcript for a second student and fill in the information. When you are done, click on Process Request. You will then be on the Report Results screen. If you did select multiple students, then you will be able to see the next transcript by clicking on the Next Page button on the top right of the screen. You can print directly from the screen using the browser's print options, but the report will not print very nicely. Instead, you should click the Print button and then immediately click the Report Manager. Once you get to the Report Manager screen, you would then click on the Refresh button to see your report show up in the middle of the screen. Once the report shows up with a status of Posted, you can then click on the title of the report to print the PDF. You may have to click the Refresh button several times before the status becomes posted. You can also produce transcripts in a group or a batch. There are 3 steps involved in creating batch transcripts. To be successful, all steps must be followed in the correct order. Step 1, you need to choose the students under Request a Batch. Step 2, construct the transcripts under Generate a Batch. And 3, print the transcripts under Print a Batch. To start batch transcripts, click on Manage Student Academics. Then click on Batch Transcripts. And then to start, click on Batch Transcript Request. If this is the first time you're running the batch, you would click on the Add a New Value tab and create a run control ID. We highly suggest you call your run control transcript_request and then click Add. If this is not the first time you're running the batch, then you would use the Find an Existing Value tab to find your run control ID and search for it. On the Batch Transcript Request screen, you would set the transcript type to INTRN. You can use the drop-down arrow to do that. You then have 4 choices of transcript request criteria. In this video, we're going to choose Career, Program, Plan. You would then fill out the next 4 fields as needed, using the magnifying glass to search if you need to. Then click on the Save button, and then click on the Run button. You just need to confirm that the information on this screen is correct, and if it is, you would click OK to return to the previous screen. If it is not, you could click on Cancel to cancel the request. You are now returned to the previous screen and ready to click on Process Monitor. You are now able to monitor the progress of your request. You should be watching the top line on the screen, waiting for the run status to be successful and the distribution status to stay posted. You may have to click the Refresh button several times for that to happen. You can then click on Message Log. You now need to look for the transcript request number assigned. You will either see 1 if you only ran 1 transcript batch, or you might see several if you ran several batches. You need to write them all down to be able to use them in the next step. You are now ready to move on to Step 2. To do that, you would go back to the original Produce Batch Transcripts screen and click on number 2, Generate a Batch. If this is the first time you're running the batch, you would click on the Add a New Value tab and create a run control ID. We highly suggest you call your run control transcript_generate and then click Add. If this is not the first time you're running the batch, then you would use the Find an Existing Value tab to find your run control ID and search for it. Make sure the institution is Emory and the transcript type is INTRN. Then you would type in the request numbers from the starting to the ending. If you only have 1 request number, then put that number in both spots. Then click the Save button and then click Run. If everything is correct on this screen, you can hit the OK button. If it is not correct, you can click the Cancel to cancel this step. You are then returned to this screen and can click on Process Monitor. You are now waiting for your process to show up with a run status of success and a distribution status of posted. You may have to click the refresh button several times in order for this to happen. If you click on the details, then you will see the process details screen, but you don't have to go any further than this to finish step 2. You are now ready for step 3. You need to return to the main screen under Produce Batch Transcripts and click on 3, Print a Batch. If this is the first time you're running step 3, then you would use Add a New Values tab, type in a name for the Run Control ID. We suggest you call it transcript_print, and then click the Add button. If you've already created a Run Control ID for this step, then you could use the Find an Existing Value tab and search for it then. You would then fill in the same report request numbers that you filled in step 2, click on the Save button, and then click Run. If this screen looks okay, you can click on the OK button to return to the previous screen, or click on Cancel to cancel this print request. You can then click on Process Monitor. You are now waiting for your report to have a run status of success and a distribution status of posted. You may have to click the refresh button several times for this to happen. You can then click on the details to see the details screen. Once you see that, you can click on the bottom link called View Log Trace. This is just a sample screen, but on the View Log Trace screen, you should see a PDF now showing on the screen in the file list, which you could then click on to produce the printout.